All right, we're gonna get into this video, man, that blessed my feed. We're gonna take a break from live right now and get into this video by Dr. Daft Show. And y'all, I heard one of the wildest proclamations I've heard in a very long time. Now, in this video, Dr. Daft had Muslim women, Jewish women, and Christian women kind of come on and do these debates. That's the point of her channel, right? Is to have women of their different viewpoints come together and have these discussions about philosophy, theology, points of view, etc. And one of the Jewish women makes a very, very interesting claim, which I'm like, whoa. And then her reasons behind the claim, I thought, was a little wild. One thing I love about this, though, is not even just the stuff that she said, crazy, but it was the Christian woman's response to it. I was like, mind blown. And this video has gotten a lot of views in the last few days, so I was like, yo, let's go ahead and deep dive into this. So I'm about to react to Dr. Daft Show, Jewish women, Muslim women, and Christian women, and then we're going to discuss. And for context, Dr. Daft just asked a question, or just asked a prompt rather, my religion holds the complete and final revelation of God. And all the women have said like they agree with that, with their religion holds the complete and final revelation of God. And then she goes into this. So I'm gonna play this for y'all, man, and then we're gonna discuss.
That's it.
Anyone want to speak on that?
The purpose of revelation, I would say, the sole purpose of revelation is to keep the laws. When God comes to humanity and says, this is evil, this is good, this is immoral, this is moral, the entire purpose of revelation is to keep the law. Obviously I have so much respect for Christians and Muslims, of course, God forbid for anything else, but the Jewish people are the only people who actually keep the law. Moses continuously says, and the whole book of Deuteronomy, it takes 37 days. He's about to die. It's very tragic. I cry every time I read it. We have the cycle that we read every year, and he says, I'm gonna die. Do not become corrupt and change the Torah. He's begging. And again, Revelation is for observance. The only people who actually observe the Torah exactly how it is are the Jewish people. So yes, I echo what Lauren said, that the Bible is the complete and full revelation, which is open to everyone, but we cannot add and we cannot change.
I would respectfully disagree on your definition of revelation. Revelation is not specifically to keep the law, because obviously we cannot. The law was given to us to allow us some form or fashion to be able to relate to God, because God is a holy God and we are imperfect people. So he gives us this like kind of as a governance so that we can at least be able to approach him. The problem with it is, going back to that same exact scripture, it highlights the fact that we broke it, and it says the covenant that was given to you on Mount Sinai. So it's literally referring to Moses' words.
Which verse?
Jeremiah 31 verses 31 through 34. Is it?
I'm just confused by that only because
She got the book and the verse and the chapter down.
yeah, they broke the 10 Commandments. We got new ones. I don't understand.
So that goes against, I guess, your position. If you have
We got new ones from God.
They're the exact same
Let's be clear,
words.
the exact same ones. Moses came down, dropped
The law
them,
didn't
broke
change.
them, went back up, got another set from God directly, and brought them back down to the Jewish people. That's what we believe.
Right, I understand that. But the point that I'm making is that even with those laws that were broken, even in that moment, came down, you see the golden calf, he goes up, he gets the law again, the cycle still continues. You see that's why they were exiled. That's why we believe we need the ultimate sacrificial system found in Jesus Christ, because we continue the same tragic, I guess, trajectory, if you will.
Do you believe Jesus saves you?
Yes.
Yes. That is probably the biggest difference between Judaism and Christianity. You keep bringing up struggles the Jewish people had. By the way, this is one of the reasons that the Jews did not write the Bible, because it makes us look really bad. In Judaism, struggle is key. By the way, how do you become like God? You said Revelation's not for keeping, observing. You become like God through action. So first of all, in Judaism, we don't have any human sacrifice, ever. It almost happened, didn't happen. We believe that we are our own saviors. We have to become good people, save ourselves to be close to God. God gave us moral law. You become like God by becoming a moral human being. You're a partner in creation with God. We don't believe that we're fallen and someone needs to save us. We all have a soul, all of us in this room. Sorry, not just Jews. Something's wrong with me.
It's fine, go for it.
Not just Jews. Obviously, God, everyone has a soul. You and I and all of us in this room have the potential to uplift and elevate ourselves to be God-like.
You can save yourself? You can save yourself? So where's God in all that then? Where is God in all that? How can an immoral person save himself or herself and be with the immortal, perfect God? So what's the point of animal sacrifices then? You're atoning yourself to God. For him to find favor in you to then be with him. That was the Old Testament. You can save yourself?
Be like God, moral, good. Yes. We don't need someone to save us. That is like the tenet of Judaism. So yes, the Jews broke the...
But the Jews also look for a Messiah as well. They just don't believe it's Jesus. But they themselves are also looking for a Messiah to come.
The law, I break the law sometimes and I feel, what is wrong with me? We continue. It's like a marriage, right? You continue. No one is coming to save us. We save ourselves. We have to earn Mashiach, Messiah. We'll get there. But that is a main difference in Christianity. I'm not going to go into the verses because...
Do you view later scriptures, like the New Testament or the Quran, as human writings or as possible divine revelations that simply don't apply to Jews?
Human writings. What do you think, Rob?
Yes. Interestingly enough, sorry to always talk about Christianity. I just study it a lot more. I have studied Islam, but I have a lot more to learn. Human writings, well, also, okay, but that's another point. But I believe that the man that Christians worship, Jesus, he himself would not have wanted people he would have told, he was an Orthodox Jew just like me. He was a rabbi, he kept Shabbos, he kept kosher, he had mezuzahs on his door, he kept Sukkot and Passover, and he did not believe that human beings should ever be worshipped. So that is the way that is one of the reasons I believe that the Christian Bible is human written, it was human man-made, because the very man that is at the foundation of the text would have completely condemned human worship.
All right. Let's break that down. 2 Matthew 3:16 through 17. All scripture is God-breathed and is used for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, so that the servant God may thoroughly equip for every good work. So when people say that, oh, the Bible is man-made, it was written by human beings, human hands wrote the letters, but it was still inspired by God. God gave them the words to write. So I don't know where people get this idea of like, oh, it's just a man-made book. Nah. Scripture is God-breathed. Maybe they could say, okay, the Bible is in and of itself. The Bible is man-made. And like the scriptures, I don't know. But I know people like to say that, people use that term to mean like the words of the Bible are written by human hands. And it wasn't. It was completely written. It's God-inspired. Literally, I just read the scripture. I don't know what they're talking about.
Let me say something to that if you don't mind. Are you familiar with the story of Mary Magdalene?
Somewhat.
Okay, so Mary Magdalene apparently had 7 demons and Jesus cast the demons out. And there's a scene in the Bible where Mary Magdalene is bowing down and taking her hair, crying and washing his feet. And the Pharisees get offended by that because they say the same thing that you just said, that that's worship. And Jesus doesn't rebuke her, he affirms her. He says, you know what? this woman's story is going to be repeated throughout history or something along those lines.
Which book of the New Testament is this?
This is in the Gospels. I think the account is it's probably in all 4 accounts. I'm not exactly sure. But Jesus receives worship many times throughout the Gospels. Even the rich young ruler, if you're familiar with that story, he gave him the 10 commandments. He says, he says, good teacher, what must I do to be saved? And he says, the commandments. He points him back to the commandments. Do this, do this. He said, I've done all those things. I'm good. I'm great. He said, still one thing you lack. He said, sell everything that you have and follow me. So he was pointing at
as
the
God
first
or as Messiah?
As who else should we follow? Like, I'm not following you. I'm
but
not following you.
But it's different if it's God or Messiah. In the first 3 Gospels, Jesus never deifies himself. It's only the last one. And from what I've read, the last one is John.
Matthew 10:14. And if they welcome you, then they welcome me. And if they welcome me, then they welcome the one who sent me. These are direct words by Jesus. And in that statement, in that verse, he's equating himself with God the Father, because he is the second person of the Trinity. He never explicitly said, I am God, but that's literally him deifying himself. And that's in Matthew.
Right? That was way after Jesus died, and the Roman Empire hated Jews. And whoever, I'm not exactly sure who wrote the last book of the Gospels, but they were
John the disciple, brother of James.
very much trying to make a break with Judaism by deifying Jesus.
That's not true. He deifies himself in Mark 14 when the Pharisees
What does he say?
When the Pharisees ask him if he's the Son of Man, and he says yes.
What? I'm a son of man.
No, let me finish, please. He calls himself the Son of Man, and the Pharisees take offense at that, because if he just meant that he was a human being, they would not have taken offense at it. And he references the Daniel 7 passage when he says this, who is coming on the clouds, who ascends to the right hand of the Father specifically. So he is deifying himself and saying, I am that I am. We also see this angel of the Lord typology in the Old Testament. Jesus echoes a lot of that language, the I am that I am in Exodus 3:20 when we're talking about the burning bush scene. Also, when Hagar is fleeing the abuses of her mistress Sarah and she sees an angel in the wilderness, the angel of the Lord, she calls the angel of the Lord Yahweh. She said, this is the Lord who sees me, El Roy. Why would she call an angel of the Lord El Roy, the God who sees me, if that wasn't an incarnation of who God is? We know that God is spirit. So who is this incarnation? We would argue that that's the second person of the Trinity. But to say that Jesus doesn't deify himself in the New Testament, that's not true.
Bro, Kalia, the one with the afro, I've seen her in other videos. And Chanessa, her name, the one I've seen her. Man, let me tell you something. Them two right there, they stay in that word. They stay in that word.
Second person of the Trinity. But to say
Who deified him. And
the Gospels deify him.
The first 3 Gospels, Jesus never deifies himself ever. Not once. I've read the entire thing. He doesn't deify himself. He does not say, I am God. Son of Man basically means anyone can be a son of man.
Why would the Pharisees take
also,
offense
one
at that?
second,
Why would the
also,
Pharisees
son
take
of
offense at
man,
that?
maybe he was referring to himself as the Messiah and other Jews said, you're not. But Jesus never said, I am God. He never said it because he was an Orthodox Jew. That is complete heresy. He would not. I admit in the New Testament, others deify himself. Jesus, unless I'm reading the wrong New Testament, in the first 3 Gospels, he does not say that he is God. He is encouraging other Jews to keep halacha, which is crazy. Halacha is Jewish law.
If it
So I
was,
wanted to
he wouldn't have been crucified if he didn't call himself God.
So, to you ladies,
Hey, you see how she threw that in there at the end? That is true. He would have been crucified. Literally, the Pharisees had to try to have him crucified because he was calling himself God. Like, what are we talking about here? Now, for the record, I am a believer myself. I am a lover of Jesus, so I'm a little bit biased, but yo, it was a W to those 2 Christian ladies for fighting and standing on the truth of the word and also bringing clarity to obvious confusion. You know what I'm saying? I just pray that all hearts and minds are open to conversation and that civil conversation and civil discourse could continue to happen. and not even just with this episode, but in others in the future. But it was good though. This is a really good video, but that was a really good moment because when she said that Jesus never claimed to be God, I was like, whoa, whoa, what Bible is you reading? What Bible are you reading? But hey, that's why I love this channel. That's why I love Dr. Daph's channel. Again, it allows people to answer questions and ask questions and then get answers to the questions that they've probably been happening across different faiths, but especially of the Christian faith and of the things of the Bible. So, W to the conversation. W to the conversation, bro. For sure, for sure. Anyways, man, my name is JC Bowie. Y'all be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm out.